Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
All right, so good evening, everyone. My name is MULYP Houston, and I serve as one of the personal and professional development co-chairs of Memphis Urban League Young Professionals. So we want to thank you all for joining us tonight for the second installment of our Power to the People personal and professional development series entitled Normalize This with our guest speaker, Terrell Monger. Now, the premise of tonight's event is to engage around the thought of normalizing what we or others might consider luxury in our lives. So in our travels, in our self-care, in our friendships, and our everyday routines. So this is going to be a great discussion around the importance of shifting our mindsets and our habits to accomplish just that. Now, let me start by saying that if you have not heard Terrell speak before, you have done yourself a disservice, but you are in for a treat tonight. And second, I want to encourage our Memphis area young professionals to check out this great organization, Memphis Urban League Young Professionals, and learn about all of the impactful things that we're doing in the 901. So it is my pleasure to introduce my partner in the movement, Ashlee Jones, who also serves as co-chair of the Personal and Professional Development Committee.
Good evening, everyone. Once again, my name is Ashlee Jones. Thank you for the welcoming introduction for MULYP. I have the pleasure of introducing our guest speaker this evening. So let me tell you a little bit about Terrell Monger. He is a motivational speaker. He is a strategist, a playwright, and an author. He was born and raised in the impoverished community of South Memphis. Terrell learned early the power of imagination. Over the years, he sharpened that skill and used it to create the future he now lives. Terrell Monger's life mission is to teach others to train their thoughts to recognize and maximize opportunities that exist. He believes that if in any situation is to change, that change must start with the individual that recognizes the need. He is a collaboration analyst for an international paper currently. He has been in the IT field for over 25 years. He is a corporate communications coach and strategist that helps others navigate their professional careers. He shares his life and his vision with his beautiful wife, Tiffany Monger. He is the proud father of 5 children, Tylon, Michaela, Terrison, Madison, and Chloe. Please feel free to place any questions that you may have in the chat, and we will make sure we have time to answer them throughout tonight's program. But without further ado, I'm going to bring up Terrell Monger.
Hey, thank you. I'm excited about this. I couldn't sleep last night. I couldn't wait.
I'm so glad to have you here this evening and get an opportunity to chat with you, with everybody in the room tonight about this topic. I think you are a perfect fit for it. Before we start tonight's discussion, did you have any opening words or anything you want to share?
No, one of the things definitely about you, Ashlee, I really want to thank you for always keeping me in mind, and it's always a joy working with you, and what you guys are doing here and the information that you're sharing, I believe is valuable. And tonight, since I'm on, it's really gonna be good. No, I just really appreciate what you guys are doing, and hats off to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I will just go ahead and jump right into this discussion. I've been really excited as well, and looking forward to talking with you tonight. I know that Feluke mentioned in the opening that our discussion tonight really centers around normalizing what we may consider luxury, travel, wealth, those things. So I'm going to jump right into it. I'm pretty sure you have heard of the term or the word bougie. So I looked up a definition of bougie and I saw that it says it's aspiring to be a higher class than one is, meaning the upper class or the middle class, traditionally despised by communists, right? So my question for you, Terrell, is in our community, why does the word bougie have such a negative connotation?
Yeah, I would say because a lot of times when we see somebody living a way that we want to live or wish we could live, and we can't see how the path is easy for us, we want to talk about it. And what we don't realize is sometimes you curse your own future. When you talk about something that you know you want yourself, you're cursing your future. And it's a simple word. I'm a nerd, so just bear with me. It's our paradigm. Your paradigm is a set of thoughts, concepts, ideas, and beliefs in which you make all your decisions from. And unfortunately, it's shaped without your permission. It's shaped by the family you grew up in, the neighborhood you grew up in, and that becomes what you define as normal. That's why I love what you guys are doing, because you got to develop a new normal. If something is really what you aspire, if you want to live in it and walk in it and be comfortable in it, it has to become your new normal. And it can't become your normal if you throw a shade on it.
Yep.
So I'm just telling you, you never see shade, light shine. And if you're the one that's throwing it, that means you ain't the one that got the light. So people who throw shade at each other is because they don't recognize the light that's inside of them. Light illuminates other. The shade of the people have light themselves. So yeah.
I love that. I see. I better get my pen out because I'm gonna have to balance taking down these gems that you are sharing with us and getting my questions out. So I love that you said that. I think I'm pretty sure you, as well as other people in the audience, are familiar with the Black Lives Matter movement. And I read a New York Times article that talked about the class divide being the most important and overlooked factor in the Black Lives Matter movement, because it's led by a new generation of college graduates and students. Black students and young professionals often talk about the pressure they feel to rise and be successful, but also the necessity to then look back to lift others. And I said necessity, but no, obligation to do so is sometimes that pressure. And I can definitely, speak for myself by saying I felt that pressure in my career. Is that something that you have experienced?
Yeah, but it's normal to me because I've experienced it my whole life. I come from a poor family. I come from a poor community, but I was always the one wanting to shine a light on where we were. I mean, I didn't have all the He-Man toys and the G.I. Joes, but I was good at grabbing two sticks, putting a rubber band around and watching them fight in the street. You understand what I'm saying? So I made fun with whatever I had. So I was the dude everybody came to get when they wanted to have fun, because I had this imagination. And I can get a cardboard box, put it together, and make you feel like you're in a mansion, or make you feel like you're in a rocket ship. So because I didn't have anything, the skill that I used was my imagination. And it's just not the same having fun by yourself. So I would invite other people into my fun, into my excitement. So when I got into the corporate world, I saw, what other people thought was difficult. I was like, no. They just speak a different language. So if somebody drops China, you better learn Chinese or you're going to starve. So just don't look at it as you're changing. Look at it as learning a new language, because every environment has a culture. And culture don't just exist. They're created. So if you have people acting a certain kind of way, instead of calling them bougie or whatever you want to call them, just say, hey, their culture is different. If I want to get my point across, I need to understand their culture, understand their language, and then put my heart in their culture, in their language, and I can change the culture. But you can't change anything. You're always fighting with. Can you imagine somebody coming in your house saying, why your couch over here? Move that couch. Why you got that picture on the wall? Move that picture. You gonna say, I need you to get out of my house. But if you come in and I'm nice and we're having a good time, and I say, hey, have you considered moving that picture over there? It might be nice on that wall. You'll listen to me because I took in your culture. I put my best self in the culture. Then I can influence the culture. So you can never experience the best if you're always fighting. And if you're always fighting, it's going to be hard to pull people along with you because you're in a fight all the time. And people don't want to fight all the time. So I say it has been natural to me. When I find good things, I have a knack to showing people where the treasure is. So it's not a burden for me to pull them up. I make it available to them. And if they don't take it, that's on them. But I make sure everybody enjoys the imagination and fun that I created so we can have fun together.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. I love that you are willing to kind of share your perception or your imagination, rather, of how you see things and how things can potentially be for others. So putting people in that place and positioning them to understand how I can come into this space. So I know you talked about you growing up, impoverished. So fast forwarding to now, the current lifestyle that you're living. Why do you think that we feel that we have to justify taking care of ourselves? And when I say that, so for example, luxury travel accommodations, traveling first class. I'm one of those people, y'all. Massages, hiring a housekeeper, any of those things. Why do you feel that we have to justify that? Because in a way, that can be self-care.
Right. In a way, I think most people aren't comfortable unless people agree with them. That's why they're always explaining themselves. But I say to anybody, if you're always explaining yourself and trying to prove yourself, you're in an abusive environment. I learned a long time ago to stop trying to explain myself to a group of people that are dedicated to misunderstanding me. I just don't have the energy for that. I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying myself. Now, you're welcome to come along with me, but I'm not about to explain every step along the way. It takes too much energy. It takes the fun away from me. So I will go the extra mile. I started last year. You probably got ahead. I started right after pandemic, flying, because at first I was like, that's too much money. But when they dropped the price on it after the pandemic, and I was in first class, I was like, you get to get on the plane first. You get to get off first. You don't pay for extra lunch. Man, sign me up. So even though my wife was with me, she was like, I can't believe we've been missing out on this. And I'm like, you doggone right. If I got to pay that little extra to get these little special privileges, I'm going to do it. But the problem is, when people are afraid of something, our natural inclination is to talk about what we're afraid of, to make us feel better about our limited decisions. But if you listen to the crowd, I learned a long time ago, if you can't be defined by the crowd, you can't be controlled by it either. Because once they put their definition on you, they want to keep you in this box. Don't try to define me. I'm going to be loud one minute, quiet the next. I'm going to be who I naturally feel like being. And if it don't fit your definition, don't mind me. I never asked to be in your dictionary anyway.
Ooh, okay then. Didn't ask to be in their dictionary. I like that. I like that. So if it doesn't define you, it can't control you.
Right. And you got to be comfortable doing what's best. It's not like you killing somebody to be in first class. It's not like you making fun of the people that's not. I'm just in first class because I want to be. I just have on a nice quality shirt because I want one. I got tired of spending money on cheap shirts that was tearing at the elbow. Now I can put this one in the cleaner. Yes, I paid a little more for it. It don't look flashy, but it lasts longer, and I like it.
No, I like that. I love the way that you explained that. And I would have to say I absolutely agree with you. I don't feel the need to justify, although some people feel like they deserve to have an understanding or the why behind the reasons that you make decisions. So I love the way that you put that. So I will ask you, what about in a biblical sense? So you will hear some people say that self-care can be unbiblical, whether that is, yoga or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, when it goes to language again.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga is a lot of meditation. And if I read the Bible correctly, it tells us, blessed is the man who walk not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor sit in the seat of the scornful, or stand in the way of sinners, but his delight shall be in the law of the Lord, and on that law does he meditate day and night. And is it telling you to meditate on the Bible? No. It's telling you to meditate on the law of God. What is the first law of God? To love the Lord your God and to love people. All yoga is taking you to your happy place. It's making you enjoy life. It's making you lovable. And if just because somebody put a name like yoga on it, you don't feel like meditating and loving, something is wrong with you. Some people call it Chinese food. Some people call it Asian food. Some people call it Mandarin food. But it's good rice and good meat. I don't care what you call it. If it put it on my plate and I'm gonna eat it. So people get lost in language all the time, and instead of always trying to find out what does the Bible say about something, what does your heart say about it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it? I meditate every morning, and guess what? You want me to. You don't want the unmeditated Terrell. I'm a smart mouth. I'm the comeback king. I'm the snapback master. You won't meditate. So even when you get wrong, I can stay right. So I think people get lost in language, and their first thought when you're unhappy or you lack experience, your first thought is to shoot down something new. We fear what we don't understand. And if I call it anything other than what my grandmama called it, if I call it anything other than what I grew up in, I'm acting funny. No, you call it what you want to. I'm meditating. I stretch in the morning. It get my blood flowing. It get me. Yeah. I don't call it yoga, but somebody who does yoga will say, "Oh, he ain't doing nothing but yoga." I meditate. I stretch. I drink my coffee. I think about how wonderful the day can be, and I leave the house on time. So guess what? I'm not the one blowing at people telling them to hurry up. Because I meditated.
Mm-hmm.
House of time. It's the late people who didn't stretch, who didn't meditate, the one cussing people out in traffic. So if you would have done some of this, maybe you'll be in a better place. So I don't weigh it like that. I think stuff like meditation and finding your happy and peaceful place is good under any name.
Wow. Well, one, I feel a little called out, Terrell. I did yell at someone in traffic this morning. I did not cuss, and I was not late. I just think Memphis has some bad drivers, but that's another discussion. We have a couple of comments that have come in. Someone said they love the questions and the conversation, and understanding others truly helps you understand the life around you. Terrell said, I'm doing this self-care for me and more importantly for you. So I think we have all taken a note from you tonight that we need to meditate. So look, following this event, we need for you to send Memphis Urban League Young Professionals a list of your meditation process in the morning so we can get on board.
You'll love it. I've been doing it for 15 years now, and it works for me.
It works for you. Well, I need to look into that myself so I can stop yelling at people in traffic. I would not want to be passing you down the street and you saying, is that her?
It's the same, Ashley. Ashley, did you meditate? I'm going to roll down my window. Ashley.
I'm going to go back to step one and start over. I'm going back to step one. Let's see. Ashley Haffer said, we're always worrying about what the Bible says about various things when we need to examine what does our heart say. That was a great point. I love that you drove that home. Let me ask you, so I guess in your journey, and now that you were riding first class, we talked about how sometimes we do feel like we need to justify the things that we're doing, or we feel like we need to connect and bring others along the way. How do you be intentional about creating meaningful relationships and friendships in the current space that you are in as an adult?
That's a great question. And I have to go back to my nerdship. Let's define relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Relationships is the way two or more concepts, objects, organization, or people regard and behave towards one another. That's a relationship.
Yeah.
But what it's telling you is, if it's how you regard and behave towards one another, it's telling you you treat people how you think of them. If you think everybody's crazy, you're going to treat them like they're crazy. If you think everybody's shady, you're going to treat them like it's shady. So you're going to get what you're projecting. I have hope other people have good intentions the way I do. I have to, once I show you who they are, you believe them. I believe in them, but at the same time, we have a tendency to treat people based on what's going on inside of us. If we're talking about the Bible says, to the pure, all things are pure. But for those who have become corrupt, everything is corrupt. If I'm a liar, I think everybody lying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think everybody's hateful, so I'm going to be hateful to you before me. But if I believe everybody I run to has the possibility of blessing the next 15 years of my life, I'm going to treat you right. If I believe everybody I run into could take my name into rooms that I can't go into, I want to be careful of the name that I give you. Ashley, you remember when I first ran into you? I saw the great things you were doing on social media. I thought you were great. And I saw you and I said, listen, I want to speak to you. I said, I don't want you to think I'm hollering at you because I know people be out here wilding. I just want I admire you and everything that you do. That was our first conversation. And look,
absolutely,
you've opened for me.
Yeah.
Now, if I would have just walked by you thinking, she thinks about it hollering at her, I ain't going to say nothing, we wouldn't be having the conversation we're having now. So you have to act like everybody is a piece to the puzzle in your life. We're all connected. And it doesn't matter how you act. I'm responsible for how I act. And if I plant enough seeds, I walk around expecting a. But if I haven't been nice to anybody, I haven't poured into anybody, I haven't contributed to anybody, I'm going to walk around thinking nothing's going to happen for me. But if I know I've been good to people, I know I've been nice to people, I know I've been kind, I'm saying out of the 100 people I've been nice to, I know one person going to open up a door for me. I know one person is going to say something nice about me. It's the law of averages. If you're a basketball player, if you miss the last shot, you can't stop shooting, or they're going to kick you off the team. You're going to be like Ben Simmons. They're going to be trying to trade you. But how many times Kobe, Allen Iverson, I don't care how many times they miss, they always believe the next shot is going in. That's how I look at people. I always believe, no matter what my interaction is with this person, the next person might be the person that blesses the next 20 years of my life. And I'm responsible for my energy. It may be someone on this call right now and saying, dude loud, he must have had some coffee, but I kind of like him. And they're going to tell their friend about me. And their friend going to open up a door. They're going to say, hey, we're having this event. Man, we need some excitement. Can you come? And I'm going to say, you doggone right. Point me in the right direction. So anytime you present yourself to the world, you have to present yourself. I want to give them a name that's worth carrying into a room that I get into.
Oh, wow. Okay. You just said a lot. You just said a lot. And all I could think about is you reap what you sow.
That's it.
So you're responsible for your own energy. And so based on what you're saying, essentially we cultivate our relationships that we want.
That's right. And
position ourselves to be in those, to have those relationships.
If you don't, you just did. If you don't intentionally create a good relationship, you unintentionally create a bad one. That's how it works. The relationship, the way two or more concepts, objects, organization, or people regard and behave towards one another. So if you have a bad relationship, you didn't intentionally do anything to make it a good one. That's it. Even if the person is mean, they can say whatever they want about you, but they can't say you were mean back unless you gave it to them.
I love that. So, I mean, essentially, you think about everything that you just said, this is something I feel like we need to normalize, right? So if we're taking ownership of the relationships that we're cultivating, the circles that we are putting ourselves in, essentially, we need to normalize accountability, self-accountability and accountability of those in our circle. What do you think about that?
No, you're absolutely right. Because check this out. What if I had a bad interview last week and the person tried to call me out on something and make me look bad? Would it make sense for me to act like you that person? So now I'm short with my answers. I'm going to answer exactly what she said because the last person said I talk too much. If they thought I talked too much, I was on the wrong show because you bring me on to talk. So I can let somebody change who I want to be in the world. I just have to find people that agree with who I want to be in the world. And I agree with who they want to be in the world. I empower them to be their best self. They empower me to be my best self. We meet each other at the mountaintop.
I love it. I love it. Oh my. Okay, you've said so much. So I have a page full of notes over here I've been trying to capture. So I'm gonna go back and watch the playback to make sure I catch everything that you said. So we switch gears a little bit. We're talking about normalizing luxury, right? So these strong networking relationships, wealth, kind of enjoying the luxuries of life, the things everybody's aspiring to. So balling on a budget. How do we do these things without going broke?
Yeah, and you talked about it. Being your best self requires you taking care of yourself. I think it was Abraham Lincoln that said, if you give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'll spend 4 hours sharpening the axe. Mm-hmm. And you have to look at yourself like that axe. I will be a better person if I'm rested, if I take the proper time for myself. So if we talk about doing extravagant things, I got a plan to take a vacation. That something is, let me establish a relationship with a travel agent. Yeah. I'll tell them next year where I want to go. And they'll say, oh, that costs $1,800. Is it all inclusive? Does it include food and all of that? Okay, cool. If it does, let me give you $120 a month or $150 a month. So when next year rolls around, my food paid for, my travel paid for, my hotel paid for. Well, even if I'm broke, I'm going to go, I'm going to eat, and I'm going to lay on the beach. Even if I'm broke. Because I figured that out. So you have to plan out your luxury. I mean, back in the day, we don't do it now. Some of us probably need to, but we had layaway.
Yes, we did.
You got to lay away your own plans. And what you do, reward yourself, okay? If you did something good at work or you met a goal or did something you want to do, put $50 up somewhere. Put $20 up somewhere. Reward yourself. And you'll look up and some of the things that you want to do because you knew it was coming, you planned for it ahead of time. See, people go broke when they do things emotionally and sporadically. I need a vacation. I don't care. I'm going wherever. And then you spend the light bill and the house note on the vacation. And when you come back, you're more stressed because you spent money that you needed. No, plan right now. Next year, this time, I'm taking a and I'm going to put $100 a month towards it. So when next year get here, I'm getting an all-inclusive. Remember that word, y'all.
Oh, all-inclusive.
Go to the resort that's going to feed you. That way, if you don't have money when vacation time roll around, you still are going to eat. and people mess up. They talk about work-life balance. Ashlee, I'm about to drop a nugget on you. I discovered this, but I'm about to give you a nugget.
Okay.
Work-life balance doesn't work because to some of us, work is work, and then life is work. We got to pick up the kids. We got to clean up. We got all these responsibilities. And so now that's work balance. You got to have what I like to call responsibility, purpose balance. All your responsibilities in one group and put purpose in another group because rest has purpose to it. The thing that you enjoy has purpose to it. See, my wife didn't understand. She said, you get off work and go to work. No, I don't. I get off work working on their stuff. And then I get filled back up working on my stuff. So that's responsibility so I can pay the bill. But this is purpose. I love creating graphics. I love video editing. This stuff gives me energy. It's more work for me not to do it. So I gotta do my responsibility stuff to pay the bills. My responsibility stuff, go run out of y'all with the kids. I'm 50. I don't feel like running with y'all. So that's not balance for me. That's work. When I get through with all of that, now let me do what's meaningful to me. That's my purpose. That makes me feel like I'm contributing something to the world. That makes me sleep at night. So it's not work-life balance. It's responsibility, purpose balance. Make sure what you call life ain't also working you and stressing you out. Take some time out to do the things that you need to fill yourself back up. If it's reading, if it's walking through the neighborhood, if it's sitting on a park bench looking at ducks, you better plan that thing. Whatever puts life back into you, make sure you put that in your purpose bucket and then put going to the grocery store with the kids in the responsibility bucket because that ain't life, that's work.
Okay, you know me a little too well because you spoke. I don't care if nobody else was in the room and it was just us. You just spoke to me when it comes to the work balance. So that's exactly the way that I'm living right now. So I am going to commit to building me a purpose bucket so I can have a responsibility and purpose balance. Ashley Haffer said he is all in my business right now. I felt it got personal for me too. Someone else said we have all type of comments here. People are saying help us. speak on it. Responsibility, purpose, balance. Several people have commented about that. So I think that really just hit home for all of us that are on the call. Someone did put a question in the comments and asked about how have you been able to normalize, this word luxury in the midst of the pandemic? I think that's a really good question, because some of us who have kind of splurged on things in the past 12 to 18 months, we may have been sitting at home not being able to do so. So can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, and it's moderation. When the pandemic comes, it doesn't mean you stop. It means you scale back. One of my purpose things is, and I told my wife this, one of my purpose things is every now and then I need to go out and eat by myself. And what I would do is splurge on myself. I get a big steak and potatoes and appetizers. My bill be about $40 by myself. But when the pandemic came, I'll still go to a nice restaurant and I'll order me a sensation brownie with brownie and ice cream that costs $3. Mm-hmm. So I didn't stop. I didn't get the $40 bill.
Yeah.
$40 bill, but it worked for me, right? And so some of the things that I used to would do, I wouldn't stop doing them. I'll just scale back how I did them. Like, I got everything: Disney Plus, Hulu, Netflix. I got all that. During the pandemic, I said, a few of y'all got to go. I got to go. We about to scale it down to just Netflix, because I like watching movies, but it's okay. Don't be ashamed to spend less. You get so used to being the person, hey, because I go out to eat. Hey, I got the ticket. Put it all on my tab. Yeah. Okay, pandemic. Hey, y'all got y'all stuff. And I'm not even ashamed of it. It ain't no, you used to pay for everything. Yeah, that's before the pandemic. I'm not ashamed to say I'm not spending this much. I'm not ashamed to say I'll go shopping with you, but I'm not buying nothing. We walking and talking. See, some of us get the luxury lifestyle and we get shamed when it's time to scale back. I'm still the same person. I'm just scaling back so I can be that person once I get on my feet. I don't want the pandemic to be over, and now I still can't do it because I've used up every credit card, not used up all my money. No, I'm scaling back. No, we carpooling. I know I usually meet you there, but we carpooling. I got $5 on it. So I would say, listen. I'm finna. This is another nugget.
Okay. Look, I have my pen right here.
Listen, when you go through a hellish moment, don't be ashamed to do what it takes to make it through that moment. Don't let anybody make you feel ashamed of what you survived. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to make it out of this. I'll be back to rail, but let me make it through my struggle. If you're going to laugh at me through my struggle, you're going to miss my celebration. I ain't inviting you to the party. If you can't handle me at my low point, you never were my friend. Ooh, Terrell, he ain't got the money he used to. No, I got it. I just ain't finna show it to you because I want to have it in the future. Don't be ashamed to scale it back. You ain't doing it for them anyway. You doing it for you. I don't do luxury things so I can tell people I did it. I do it because I like it. And so when I scale it back, I know it's coming back one day, but I just want to be in a position where I can get back to where I was without being in debt to my eyeballs.
No, I like that. That's some really good call outs. And you actually answer my next question without me even asking it. So I was going to talk about that shame. So you've cleared that up. You've told all of us not to feel guilty.
You know what? I have done this before. I have done this. People tell me they don't like my shirt. You know what I tell them? When you gonna buy me one? if you ain't gonna pay for it, don't talk about what I'm doing. That's how you gonna order? Yeah, it's all I can afford. If you want me to order more, you gonna pay for it? Well, leave me alone then. And you gotta have the boldness. You can't shame me. I have been broke. I lived in the projects. I have gone days without eating. You can't shame me for not having nothing because I come for nothing. Everything I have is a luxury. The car I have, it ain't worth $100,000, but it's a luxury because we didn't have that. My mama dropped us off on the bus. We'll take the bus. She'll walk us to the school. She'll go back and get back on the bus, then go to work. She'll come back from work on the bus, come walk to get us from school. We get back on the bus, and then we'll go home. So just having a car is a luxury for me. You can't shame me for not having nothing because I done came from nothing, and I done been there. So I'm not going to let anybody make me feel bad about a struggle I'm going through.
Okay, so I love what you just said. You said a car in general is a luxury for you, right? And so I think that's what everybody wants to be successful. They want to be more successful than their parents were. When you have kids, you want your kids to be more successful than you. So I think the important point or the call out that you just had, if you could share with us, how should we be defining luxury?
Yeah, listen. Luxury is simple as this. What feels good and comfortable enough to restore me? That's luxury.
Mm-hmm.
If you got an old raggedy chair in a quiet room and don't nobody bother you, baby, you in luxury. and I guess that comes from me because I survived off of my imagination. I mean, when we went days without eating and didn't know what we were going to have, my luxury was flipping through the Sears catalog, looking at pictures saying, that's the type of house I'm going to have one day. That's the type of clothes I'm going to have one day. So my imagination, you will think I'm having $1 million time on $100 budget because my imagination makes whatever it is what it is. If it's enough to restore me and I can have some peace, because you got to understand, it's some people with a whole lot of money, miserable, jumping out of windows. Mm-hmm. Money don't define luxury. Peace. What situation have I created that restores me? You can have a ragged house, but a luxurious bed with some blankets that help you feel comfortable. If you define luxury by money, you're going to go broke because you're always going to want to be outdoing yourself. You know what's luxury for me? My car don't break down. It's dependable. My air work, you know. The air going down. Now we got a problem. But as long as I can create an atmosphere where I am refreshed, I am restored. That's luxurious. Now, if I can afford to pay a little more to get more, I'll do it. But if I can't afford it, I ain't gonna do it just to prove to you so I can get on Instagram and ooh, look at my hotel room. If I'm on vacation and my room is not on Instagram, that means it's comfortable, but it ain't for y'all to see. And so you got to be okay with enjoying a life that people are not impressed with. If you had a good time, okay, I'm going to really do something. You got people who could really be in a loving relationship, but they're ashamed of what other people might say about the partner they with. You've been happy with that woman. You've been happy with that woman. But somebody cross-eyed, not happy no more. You ought to say, but you don't know what this cross-eyed woman do to me, though, boy. If you knew like I knew, you'll get you a cross-eyed woman. You got to be comfortable with what you got, because people who are not happy will rob you of your confidence. Mm-hmm. If it feels good to you, man, enjoy it. Be proud of it, because you could buy a closet full of clothes that you happy with and let one commercial come on saying now you need to update the model. You're going to mess around and want to throw away everything in your closet because a commercial told you to. I say the heck.
That's an unmeditated, Terrell.
Exactly. I say forget that commercial and enjoy your clothes. Listen, when the new style came out and people weren't wearing the wide leg pants with the cuffs, I had a bunch of nice suits. I know a lady that lived down in Whitehaven. I had her go tailor all my suits. Now people tell me, man, you got a new suit. No, I just took the cuffs out and slimmed the leg a little bit. I'm not gonna go, these suits got $400-500. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go pay $30 to get these pants altered and rock it. And guess what? It looked good because it's on me. And I look good.
Mhm.
I feel good. And so we got to learn to stop letting other people define what should be luxury or what should be upscale. If it restores you, enjoy yourself.
I love that. I love that. We have so many comments about what you just said. Feluke Houston says social media attributes to folks feeling this way, and comparing yourself to these folks only is posting the highlight reel. That is so true. That is so true. Ashley Hafford says that we need to start having this series weekly. I agree with her. And we also have another comment that somebody said, where my cross-eyed boobs at? So you are redefining love as well as luxury today. You have outdone yourself. I really, really enjoyed the conversation. I feel like we could go on and on. I really do feel like this could be a 2-part series, but I know we are getting close on time. So I definitely have to thank you for all of the gems that you have shared with us tonight. Did you have any closing remarks or any last words that you wanted to leave us with?
Yeah, I'll say this, guys. What you see is not a performance. This is who I am from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep. If you call me at 5 in the morning, you finna get this dude right here because this is who I am. And I like to invite people into my world. We have a stage play that's coming up. The first 2 stage plays were sold out. This one is the encore performance. It's October the 16th. Go to tntworld.org and get your ticket. While you're there, download the Coffee Shop app. The Coffee Shop app is a bunch of people asking relationship questions, talking about things. I'm steady developing it. It has a virtual cafe that I will open up from time to time. And you can talk to this crazy dude right here and let me put some energy inside of you. I am telling you, life is to be lived, not to be talked about, not to be showed off to people. Establish the life that brings joy to you, and then what you do will give life to others. So that's all I got to say. Go to tntworld.org, download the app, come see the stage play. I got a couple of podcasts coming up, but just follow your boy, and you going to get this crazy dude, and you going to start thinking crazy, and you going to live a crazy, happy, luxury, successful life moving with me.
Absolutely. And I will have to second that. So I have had the luxury, as I've now learned the correct definition, to utilize that application. So y'all please go to the website to get more information about the upcoming play before tickets sell out again. You want to make sure that you do that. And Terrell, where else can everyone find you at or follow you at? What social media platforms are you on?
Yeah, social media, everything, Terrell Monger, except Instagram, I am Terrell Monger. So everybody else is Terrell Monger. And, let's just stay connected. Ashlee will tell you, I love having these conversations. I love dreaming with people. I love pushing people. And whatever I can do to speak some life into what you're doing, that's what I want to do, because I learn from everybody that I talk to, every perspective. I don't think I'm always right. I always believe that there's 2 sides to every story. And every time I talk to somebody, I enjoy them giving me their side so I can learn and grow too.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We're so glad that we were able to be blessed with your presence this evening. Thank you for everything that you have shared. We hope that this is not our last conversation with the Terrell Monger. So we will definitely be inviting you back to have further conversations. We have had the ability to have this event because of Memphis Urban League Young Professionals. So before we close out, I would like to bring up the president of our Memphis chapter, Ashlee Hafford.
Hello. Thank you. Let me start by saying, Mr. Monger Terrell, thank you so much for the gems that you have dropped this evening. I have a page full of notes, and I fully intend on making you some. You have filled us up with so many gems to help enhance our quality of life and friendships, self-care, luxury, travel, and one common thread at the root of a lot of the gems that you drop is that it's all about you, the individual. We can't worry about what others are doing or thinking about us. We have to truly work to define luxury for our lives based on us. So thank you for that. And I also want to echo a challenge that you set for all of us to strive to find our responsibility, purpose, balance, and take the time to do the things that we need to do to fill ourselves back up. So thank you so much for being here with us this evening. Thank you so much to Ashlee and Feluke, our personal professional development chairs of Memphis Urban League Young Professionals. And again, if you all want to learn more about Memphis Urban League Young Professionals, please visit our website, www.memphisulYP.org. I definitely want to encourage you all to support Terrell with his lovely crazy game, the stage play. Tickets are available also through the website that we posted earlier, tnt.org, I believe. So please continue to support him in his endeavors as well. Memphis Urban League Young Professionals, we do have some upcoming events if you're interested in learning more about our organization or getting involved. We are having our Youth Mentoring and Development Scholarship Awards Banquet this Sunday, where we'll be honoring the winners of our MULYP scholarship. So if you're interested in donating or supporting or even coming out and attending, you can check us out on our website, www.memphisulYP.org. We also have a back to school drive where we're collecting donations that will benefit the Boys and Girls Club of Memphis. So again, if you want to contribute to that or donate or help out in any way, you can also do so through our website, as well as learn more information about our organization and join. Again, I want to extend a very, very, very special thank you to Mr. Monger for being our guest speaker for this evening, and to Ashlee Jones at the Recruiting Guru, and Feluke Houston, our PPD chairs of MULYP. And thank you all for tuning in.